Howdy guys, how's it going? So tonight, or today, like I said, it's 4 o'clock right now, so this ain't gonna be too long till it's nighttime. But we are gonna be having ourselves a bit of an overnighter. Now normally I don't do any camping in the summertime, but after I got diagnosed with the good old COVID-19, and I've been stuck inside for the past 20-some days, so I just had to get outside. I've been, just staring at my computer, just playing video games for the past 20 days straight. Just grinding out that content on the YouTube channel, on the gaming channel. So I just had to get out here. I just have eat a meal, but I brought some leftover salmon with me that we'll have for later. I've got a tent, so we're going to be tent camping. I haven't used this tent in like 2 years because I haven't camped during the summer in like 2 years. We're not going crazy far, just about a mile away from the house, just like I said, just to get in the woods, away from most of the technology. And just enjoy being outdoors. There is a black bear in the area, as in like we seen the black bear come through like 10-15 days ago, right through here, and I'm sure we could find some signs of it if we looked hard enough. But that's what we're going to do there. I ain't really worried about it because I mean they have a really long, like a large, roaming area, so the odds of me running into it tonight very slim, especially since I don't have any raw meat. I just brought some cooked salmon from earlier today. So yeah, I'm going to continue hiking. We're probably a good just about 15 minutes away from the area that I'm planning to go, because I've camped there before, but it was like 3 or 4 years ago, so there's probably a decent bit of stuff that I'll need to clear out of the way and get everything situated, like I said, with the fire, with the wood, just just the stuff that's got to get done. Right here is the area where I used to, well, I've camped in the past. Like I said, I haven't been here. I've been here, but I have not camped here in at least, like I said, at least 3 years during the summer, because all the stuff I do is normally during the fall or winter, because I don't like the heat, and it is really hot, and I'm sweating my nips off right now. But this area, there's a decent bit of dead fallen stuff that's here, and then there's a lot of like new growth coming up, so I will have to remove that. But I'm going to walk down this little deer path right here, which I don't know how well that'll show up on camera. And there's Dog. He's joining us on this fine little adventure. He's just going to be roaming around. He's already eat as well. So like I said, we're just a mile from the house in the woods, in the Appalachian Mountains. So it's not like, we're too far away. If I was to sprint, I could make it home within 10-15 minutes, I would say. Now, after perusing around a bit, that right there was the original spot, but I'm not going to use it because there's just a lot of stuff in the way. And I'm going to be going with this right here. I'm going to have to pull up some of these oak and maple sprouts and just double check for any rocks, clear the sticks and everything. But one of the reasons why this is my favorite spots to tent camp at is just because this right here is like a, I don't know, it's just really soft ground, and there's really not many roots or anything that's protruding through. I do have a sleeping pad with me, which is something that during the fall and winter I actually may or may not take, depending on what kind of setup I'm doing. But then I'm normally doing, natural shelter builds and stuff. But I'll have that, so it's like I'm really not worried about any, really, really tiny thing. And I got a ground covering for my tent that's a relatively thick tarp, thick enough that nothing in this general area is going to have a chance of poking through it. So I'm going to set this up. I'm going to clear that out, and then we'll get on to putting the tent up. Because I haven't set this tent up in like at least 2 years. Because I think I had used it before, maybe during the fall or something. But my memory, it escapes me at the moment. Now, in terms of things I brought with me, as you've seen right there, I was clearing the ground. Just brought a folding saw with me. Didn't even think I was going to use it, but well, it's handy to have tools. This was a last minute trip. Like I just decided like an hour before it was time that like we was going to be fixing lunch that I wanted to do this evening. So I just threw in some of the essentials, nothing crazy. So right off the rip, this sleep pad, so that'll make things just a wee bit more comfortable for us. Right there in the side is the container that is holding the cooked salmon. It is a airtight container, so that won't be letting any smells attract any of the no goods. Plus, if it was, that dog would be just over here molesting my bag. In this front pocket, got some eating utensils just for that salmon. I didn't really bring nothing else. I think I got a couple Cliff Bars in here somewhere. Brought a shirt just in case. I'm not going to need this for the temperature. Like I said, right now I'm just sweating. Like it's pouring. but I plan to use this just as a little bit of a pillow. I like to sleep with my head pretty low, so it's not that big of a deal. This right here is the homemade ground sheet for my tent. Then we got the tent itself, which is a Alps mountaineering one-person tent. And I've used this a lot in the past. I've had this thing for, god dang, I've had it for a while. But I think I've used it somewhere between like 25 times. So to some people that's not a lot, and to some people, you know, that's more times than they'll go camping in their lifetime. But as a one-person tent, it's relatively small. I mean, there's a lot more lightweight versions out there. I don't know what the MSRP on this would be right now, but back when I bought it, it was, I want to say 160 to 180, somewhere in that ballpark. So we're going to be setting that thing up for the first time in 2 years. And then for my sleeping bag, if that's what you want to call it, this right here is the cotton canvas outer bag for the mountaineering down sleeping bag that I have. I think it was a World War II style sleeping bag. I could be wrong about that, but it's a down sleeping bag designed for, you know, winter applications. And I just got this because I really don't need anything as hot. Like the lowest it's going to get tonight would be in the upper 60s. So temperature is not a thing, like not a problem, but it is nice and comforting to have just a light cover element. Plus, anytime you have a sleeping pad in a tent, they want to go all over the place, especially if you're a rambunctious sleeper such as myself. Drag that all through around the ground so that we don't get it full of leaves and stuff. So I'll show you a better close-up of that. Then I got the old stainless steel water bottle full of aqua. I've got a single person, like a net hammock stuffed in the bottom right there. I'm not going to drag it out either right now, but we'll get to that in a bit. Then at the top, we have got 2 adult beverages that we are going to take and go down to the creek, which is about 100 yards that direction, and you know, make a little natural cooler to get them back up to you know, a nice chill sipping temperature. Then we got the good old K-bar, good old reliable K-bar, and my headlamp. And then I got the old Glock 17 on my hip, fire kit, I guess if you want to say it, in my left pocket, pocket knife, multi-tool, wallet, cellular device. And I do believe that is everything that we have brought with us. So there is that. That is a breakdown of stuff that I brought with me. Before we set up the tent, I need to hike down and get these in the creek so that they can be chilling down. So let's bushwhack our way down to the creek and see how many spider webs we can encounter on the way. Might even run into, let's see, with Charlotte's web, I can't remember if the pig was named Charlotte or if the spider had a name. But all I know is, if I remember right, that spider got cheated out of a deal or something. I don't know. One of these spiders ends up biting me and I don't turn into Spider-Man, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Let's just put it that way. Haha, we have arrived at the creek location. Just gotta be careful about snakes. I have a bad habit of not paying close enough attention whenever I'm doing the good old recording of the videos. So we just gotta be really careful. Over here looks like a decent place. It's got a little bit deeper water. Never gonna be accused of being swift-footed. Okay. Here we go. This channel right here looks like a phenomenal position. Look, unfortunately something happened, some software update or something popped up when I was doing this for the past 5 minutes. So just to walk you through what I've done, we found this section of the creek. I just took and built up a wall that still allows the water to pass through. Then took and dug out the sediment that was underneath right here, because, you know, creek water, it's a lot cooler when it's moving. So instead of using the really still water around the edges and pushing the cans into the sediment like most people do, the drinks won't get nearly as cold that way as they will if you have these things in moving water. Now the way I constructed this with this back wall that allows the water to pass through but dam it up high enough to where it covers the drinks, this would be fine and safe. But since, you know, like I said, I'm about 100, maybe 125 yards up the hill, on top of the hill, and this is down in the valley, I don't want to come back in 30, 45 minutes and have my drinks running away back down to Mexico for me. You know, I mean, I'm sure they missed their family, but we got to keep them here. No running away from us, okay? So I got this rod. This is actually a lot heavier than it needs to be, so I'm going to be very careful putting that on there. But that's just to make sure they don't run away. Still got plenty of water going to be flowing over them. This water's, you know, like I said, nice and cool. I'm sorry I showed the whole construction of this, but like I said, something crashed on my recording device, so hopefully that doesn't happen anymore. Now I get to have the pleasure of setting this bad boy up for the first time. Now this right here, if I remember right, I needed to actually shorten this a little bit from what it was, just like trimming the edges. But that's not going to matter right now. This will give us a good idea of the footprint of the tent with actually, just a wee bit more. I'm going to pull it down a little bit. From what I remember though, this tent goes up pretty fast. Got the rain fly there. By the way, if you hear any noises, like I said, there's a deep valley right there, and the mountainside kind of like slopes off that direction, and there's a road somewhere in this spectrum, and like sound just echoes through the mountain. So every now and then when people come through with like, if they're on the road and they got like a a motorcycle or it's like a school bus or something, the sounds will echo. So just in the event you hear anything, that's what that is. Let's whip out the poles real quick. This was one of the main selling points because, like I said, this tent was bought like way back. And back when I bought this tent, I mean, I was pretty young. And a big selling point was just about, the fast assembly. And this is meant to be, like a one-person backpacker tent. And anything that was in its, in its category pretty much was, just extremely expensive. And I just wasn't much of I'd never been much of a tent camper. So it wasn't something I was trying to, spend $500 on, and not even really know if it's something I'm going to use frequently. But it's held up, at least in storage, and the uses that it has seen thus far very well. So it just has the top slot that you slide these poles through. Okay, now that I got this top loop right here up, the top hoop, as we shall call it, I'm going to go ahead and stake out these two corners right here. And it just has these nylon loops. And I can go back around after we get everything situated and set up and really, fine-tune and tighten this, including fine-tuning and tightening, fine-tuning the way that the ground sheet fits under here, because right now we're just kind of eyeballing it. Okay. Now down to the bottom, same thing. It's just got like a heavy-duty mesh loop for this to go through. Get that pulled up a wee bit. And then it's got these two holes right there. Like I said, this one goes on this side. Just keep a little bit of tension on it. This bottom hoop is actually quite a bit tighter than that one up top. So I'm going to take and spread this out to the outer ring on this downside, because that does not need to be nearly as tight as it was. I'm actually kind of afraid I was putting too much stress on the tent itself. Starting with the main four corners. Now, one thing, where we're in the Appalachian Mountains, the soil is extremely rocky. And the reason I say that and let you know that is because getting the tent pegs in the like 100% desired location can be a lot more difficult than I would like. 4, 6, a total of 8 stakes, which realistically you wouldn't even have to use all of them if you didn't really want to. But in the event a little bit of a storm blows through, I just want to make sure that I have a bad boy nice and taut to the ground, so we ain't got to worry about Mother Nature picking it up and getting a free tent out of the deal. And there we have that. I don't want to kick my tripod. So that's what the tent looks like without the rain fly on it. It's a very, very spacious one-person tent. You could actually fit 2 people in this if you desired to do so. But now we're going to take and put the rain fly on it. It would be really nice to, just throw a tarp or something over this, but and, just take advantage of having all the airflow coming through since it's hot. But this thing does have some pretty good ventilation options, even after you throw the top on it, the rain fly. But we're going to go ahead and do that. Now see, and the thing that I really like about the way this rainfly is designed, there's not a lot of tethering you have to do. There's these snaps right here, and they just snap to the primary corners of the tent, and then you can take and just adjust the tautness of it after you have all the corners hooked. And then the corners, the two sides are the only sides that you actually have to stake out. You just kick a tree on it. I know it's not going to be windy, just a slight chance of rain. And then you have these additional tie out points that you can run from the back and down there. So if you want this slope to be a lot more tight, which I guess in a heavy rainstorm it'd be important, but definitely if you're going to be rocking with snow, or just even icy rain. Now this is meant to be a 3-season tent, I believe. I could be wrong, but I definitely don't think it'd be rated as a 4-season tent. But I have used it in the fall and winter and in a snowstorm. I do need to tighten that down a little bit so it don't cover up that. But just doing this one right here, I'm sorry for the poor camera work right now as well, but just doing this one right here could be more than enough to tighten that out for anything that be coming. But we're going to leave it the way that it is. And to help with ventilation, we're going to open up this Velcro tab right here, and it's got like a really stiff, there's really no way that I can show this well from the outside, but it opens up, it stands out. There you go. It's like a little peg. Opens that mesh bit up. It helps the airflow a lot better. I'm going to take that off the tripod, freehand this bad boy. So here we go. This is what we look like. This is Hotel Su Casa, something or other in Spanish for tonight. The floor is raised up a bit because of that soft foliage. Let's crawl in here so you can see. I need to lay down anyways, just to take and get another ground test. Probably should have done that beforehand, but oh yeah, baby, this is what I'm talking about. So I brought garbage in here on my feet. Anyways, I let my feet down there. There's another, I'm 5'10", by the way. So there's a good, from the heels of my feet, about 6 inches to the bottom of that. My feet have no trouble touching the top. And I'm shifted down pretty much. Now this position, this location, is on a bit of a slope downhill that way, which I've done on purpose so that I would have my head uphill. Here's my beautiful face once again. So laying down, got like a good, what, 1.5 feet all the way to the back there. Tons. I'm holding the camera full arm's length, still not touching the roof of the tent. So it's like if you want to scoot back, you can definitely set up in here. You know, read you a book, watch you a video, incline, do whatever you want to do. Then on the flip side, you got you a nice little mesh pocket there. And the airflow in here is actually really exceeding what I was expecting it to be from the last time I used it. It's not that bad in here. We're blocking the view, but we're going to spread our primary and only cover element really out. Self-inflating pad, which I normally don't use a self-inflating pad because, I don't like having to worry about risking, being conscious of puncturing it. But since you're using a tent, and this is a quick outing, this was the easiest thing to grab without thinking about it. This is a lot more difficult because this right here has a box on this thing is a lot different. It comes to like an edge like this. Instead of being like flat, it just goes the other direction. So that is making this a lot more difficult, but we have about got it. And there we go. It is in there. Got plenty of room even with that spread out as wide as it is. I hope I wasn't just standing in front of the camera the whole time. Okay, so shake that off. We're going to set this in here down towards, you can set it on these outside flaps, but for now, just to keep a lot of the creepy crawlies away from it, we're going to throw that in there at the foot, get this zipped up. Now we're going to take and hike and go to a place where I have had fires in the past and see if I got anything left around there that we can use, so I don't have to spend my whole time trying to find wood and such. You know what? If it wasn't for that big old bit of orange right there, let me see if I can zoom in on that. There we go. That right there is actually almost a good stealth location. You got all these laurels and stuff growing around this area right here. It's kind of open. Like there's a definitely wildlife trail through here, and I think this right here used to be a bit of an ATV trail as well. And I mean, I use it for that too. But that's a really nice spot tucked away. Like if you had a camouflage tent right there, there's no way. It's just so easy just to take and walk by through here and just glancing over. Like I said, if it wasn't for that orange, but if it's camouflage, and you could even tuck it deeper down, and even probably go on the back side of them laurel thickets right there. I cannot find the place that I once had the fires and stuff. So this right here is a nice open area. I'm gonna clear it away. And I got that pocket hammock. I was originally going to take and probably mess around with making a bushcraft chair, but it's so hot and I just do not feel like exerting the effort. Okay, so we got the ground cleared. I might have to take and adjust it a little bit more and push that further back, because I went down to the tent, got the pocket hammock, and I think I know this tree's fine, but I hope that tree right there is man enough to handle the weight. I need to get this somewhat leveled out to where I want it. This is something that I hardly ever use, so I am nowhere near sure about how tight I need to make this bad boy in order to get the level of comfortability that I am searching for. And this skinny tree right here does not have any good places to tie off on. And this hammock is not big at all. I'm just waiting for that little tree right there to give way though and break on me. But that right there is actually kind of what I'm looking for. That tree, I did not expect it to have that kind of give on it. But I think we got ourselves a winner. We're not having a giant fire, just enough to, you know, have some light, keep the bugs away. There's no need to build a barrier or anything around it. So that's what we're going to do next. Okay, so since this is a bit of a vacation, I'm going to be cheating and using some store-bought tinder, because I'm not trying to run around and kill myself. You know, we're about to go down there at the creek, get our beverages, and relax. So now, in case you're new, just so you know, this is not like the proper way to build a fire. I mean, then again, if it works, then can you really argue against it? That stick right there is damp, but it will serve the purpose that we need it to. Yeah, don't look at this as an actual reference point for starting fire, because like I said, it'll work, but you're better off to do it the right way every time, at least until you have a couple thousand fires under your belt. Like I said, I'm sure I'm up into the tens of thousands, and that's not even an exaggeration. But this will for sure work. We're just kind of skipping the actual progression from, you know, like pencil lead size to the pencil size to your finger, your pinky, your thumb, all that good old stuff. But with that piece of tinder right there, all this stuff's going to take off no problem. It rained like 2 days ago, so stuff is a wee bit damp, but not that bad. Not to the point to where it's anything that we got to concern ourselves with. Where I haven't been here in a while, there is just a endless amount of deadfall and stuff around here, so I'm not like in a position where I'm going to have to be processing or cutting any wood for the size of the fire that we are going to be indulging in. I just kind of hope that smoke switches direction so it ain't just straight up killing us over there when we're trying to sit in the old hammock and enjoy ourselves. That's a little damp, so we'll put that up top so it can get dried out. Once this takes and burns down a bit more, we're going to move away from the TP style construction and get more into a more of a linear wood setup. So now we got the fire going, we got the hammock set up, tent set up, everything is in the tent that needs to be in the tent. So now we're getting down to the highlight of being up in the mountain this fine evening, which is going and grabbing one of our cool, cold, crisp Modelo's and going and chilling in the hammock and just chillaxing for a bit. So I'm not going to try to deal with the tripod and camera, back down through all that god awfulness just to grab a drink, but I will be back in a second and you guys can join me by the fire. Okay, so we made the trek down there, bro. It is still, I mean, it's just hot. I mean, it's just unfortunately just uncomfortably hot. I am sweaty. I had the bright idea before coming down here, because of that bear in the area, that I was going to take and spray myself down with some pretty strong cologne just to kind of, aerate the area, make it smell like a man. And in doing so, now it's just mixed with sweat, and I just smell not good. But look, we got our drink. This is our first one. Probably we might not even crack in that second one. Who knows? It just depends on how long we want to sit here and chill out, because I am very tired. I did not sleep too much last night because I was busy grinding the new LMG on old Modern Warfare. But we're gonna crack this open. Got got some creek water right there around the rim. We'll wipe that off. Just a little grit, you know, it just adds character to the drink, if anything. And then another thing we do, oh yeah, bro, it's nice and cool. Pull out the old kniff, poke a little hole right there at the very top rim edge of the drink, and that just helps air enter the can, so you don't end up burping as much. You know, we ain't shotgunning nothing. We ain't trying to, you know, stick it out, crack the bottom or nothing. But just having that little hole right there just kind of helps the consumability of the beverage. I better put this karambit up before I take and this tree right here to my left gives way on me and I'll stick it in my leg. That wouldn't be no fun. But yeah, so I'm going to try to keep this fire right here until it gets dark, just to where it's producing a lot of smoke and you can't really see it. And I got the tripod set up in a position that is pretty solid at the moment, so I'm going to leave that there. But creating a lot of smoke, I've already noticed the bugs have kind of dissipated from what they was. They hadn't even been that bad today. I don't know what the deal with that is, but it's really nice not having to, you know, constantly get like, you know, your nose and all your facial holes raped by insects. So this is nice. We're just chilling. I'm really glad I decided to do this because it's one of those things where it's easy to tell yourself, you know, hey, I'll do it next week, I'll do it after this, whatever. But just after the, let me just die of smoke inhalation real quick. After the Warzone event happened that gave way for the Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War information and everything, and I pre-ordered Black Ops Cold War. So, you know, after that I was like, okay, you know what? That's a good way to conclude today as far as the online pro caliber gaming stuff goes. So let's just hit the mountains for a bit, spend the night out, just relax, unwind, and have a good time. Just for a reference point, that right there is what I'm talking about whenever I say just keep the fire like smoldering, like it's got a really nice center base of coals, and then that wood that's on there that's about thumb size, then just a piece or two that's, you know, double, triple thumb size. Where that stuff right there happens to already be dry, so it's just going to kind of keep a good constant amount of smoke coming off of it. There's more smoke right here in person than's visible right there on the camera. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is about that time. It done went and got dark on me pretty fast because I may or may not have took a short little nap while chilling in the hammock. I went from the sitting position to try to see if I could, you know, get in the laying position. One thing led to another, and then I was asleep. Now, I need to go down here to the creek and retrieve my other beverage so that we can finish that before we crawl into the tent for the night. The only thing is, this is a really growed up place, and I gotta figure out how to make my way down to the creek and then back up. And the other thing is, gotta watch out for them pesky copperheads because they move at night, and we don't want one of them things trying to make its way up our pants so they can get fresh with us, if you get what I'm saying. Boom, baby, and just like that, it's chilling right here waiting for us. Oh. So now, we just gotta take this bad boy back up the hill. Going back's always the harder part because it's like keeping your bearings is a lot more difficult at night. And up there we can kind of see the fire. So we're just offset from that to the right. And just like that, home sweet home, baby. Okay, so now the name of the game is just gonna be chill out, cool off, finish this bad boy right here, and then we're gonna crawl in the tent. And that is gonna be where I'll see you guys in a minute. All right, look, it is without a doubt siesta time. I got the fire took and situated pretty good. I'm gonna take and tuck this under there because that is nice and empty. Then let's see, where's our zipper at? We freehand this bad boy right now. So We've got things, for the most part, ready to go. First time I haven't closed myself in here yet. I gotta take my boots off real quick. Okay, so here we are. We in the tent. Everything is nice and sealed up. Now where I've got this light in here, let me see if I can dim this a little bit. I think it's got a dimmer option. There we go. So we got the light. There's a couple small nifty little insects in here, but I ain't too worried about those. They're not anything that's biting, like bite worthy. They're not gonna take and nibble on me while I sleep. Now I don't know if you can tell in the actual like in the video, but I am covered in sweat. This is why I do not like summer camping whatsoever. I'm like late fall, winter time only, because I am drenched in sweat. I know I can't smell it because, you know, I'm already acclimated to my scent, but I have to reek horribly. Like there's no way that I'm gonna be able to take and cover up in this just in this canvas thing. Like it's still got to be like 75 degrees. I've got sweat in my eyes, but we're gonna tough it out because I'm not walking back tonight in the dark. I mean, I could if I needed to, but it's just not. It's not on my agenda. So we're gonna sign off here, and I will hit you guys up in the morning. I don't know what time I'll wake up. I don't know how well I'll sleep at all, considering the temperature and the heat. Like, look at that, bro. I am moist. I am just as moist as it gets. So we will, like I said, I'll hit you guys up in the morning, and we'll get everything packed up and get out of here. I'm still really glad that, you know, I've done this. It's been really enjoyable. Nice to get away from the monitors, from the computer screens and everything, and just chill out for a bit. But yeah guys, so thanks for making it this far, and I will hit y'all in the morning. Good morning, all you fine looking individuals. It is currently 8:10 a.m. 8:10 in the morning, and I just took and rolled over and opened up the side of the tent right here just to take and put my boots on and get some more fresh air in here. Last night was, hello dog, last night, what are you doing? Say hello. No, you're wet. You are wet. Go somewhere. Did sprinkle just a little bit. He's mainly wet from just being around from the morning dew and all the foliage and all that good old stuff. But yeah, it's 8:10. I woke up like 6 different times last night sweating, so it wasn't a bad night. It was just it was sticky, let's just put it that way. So yeah, ain't nothing else crazy. I'm just gonna get everything packed up, I'm gonna head home, eat breakfast, and that's gonna really just conclude this trip in general. So I'm hoping that I didn't get the inside of this tent too dirty, but like where this is kind of a very, you know, it's a low profile do jig, it's gonna have some stuff in it. So that's pretty much gonna be it for this. I'm just gonna get some shots of me packing everything up, and yeah guys, that's gonna be all. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you like this kind of stuff, I plan to do a lot more of this, but bushcraft stuff in the late fall and winter, because that's when I'm in my prime. So yeah guys, just thanks for watching, and you can see the shots of me, you know, cleaning up if you want to. But until the next one, adios.